do you paint women? They just don't like. I mean, there's plenty of beautiful women. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to paint beauty. My techniques, my pursuits are very complicated. Men are easy to find to paint. Simple, honestly. Like, he is so complex. And there's so much depth to him if you knew who he was. And so, like, when I saw him, I knew, you know, I could just see him on the canvas. How do you find a woman, though? Like, it seems like women are just not complicated enough. It's always like a one track mind. Men are, and there's that stereotype that men are one track minds, that they can't multitask or think about two things at once. But the truth is that men are thinking about a ton of things. You know, like you're thinking about your life, your work, your emotions, your wife, your love, your children. You're living a very complicated life trying to defend them from this world, or your mind is being tortured because of so many variables of lost love, or being disowned by your children or your family. Like, men are so complex. It's just that we hide it, and so that's why our faces become so dynamic. But women, it's all very simple. They're all protected, they're all defended. Where's the complexity? How do you paint a woman? I have looked for so long to find a woman that I want to paint, that when I see her, it's the same emotion as him, that I have to put her on a canvas. And the way that I paint is ever more grueling in the process of trying to pursue that visage. I don't know how to find it, and it seems as if it's impossible. I don't think women are worth painting. There are plenty of beautiful women. Whether it's sexual or, I mean, you can paint naked women all fucking day, but all you're doing is just painting naked women. There's nothing there other than their physical form. There are plenty of beautiful women. But where are the women that feel like I felt about him? He's so just. And I'll never share who he actually is, but because that's the whole point of making art and painting, is that you can feel something about him, and you're analyzing how I felt. So you have the duality of purpose, and you get rid of that by just telling people what to think. It ruins it. It ruins the process. And so, like, I have searched endlessly. I almost got close. Uh, Marfa's really close, but she's her own artist, so painting her would just be shallow, that I would be copying, as if I'm, cover musician or something, playing other people's music, pretending I'm a musician. Well, you can be a musician, but you're not an artist when you cover other people's music. And I considered Sabrina Bostarsky for a while, but I don't think she needs that heralding. Nobody knows who he is. So using like famous people, it's always kind of really shallow in art. And you don't, you're. It's one reason why I hate that painting so much. The one behind my computer is it's fuck is his name even? I can't remember names, but Hunter S. Thompson Townsend. I don't know. Hunter, the guy that made that movie with Johnny Depp. Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah. And he lived around here, actually. Fucking wild card. And I was painting that for a friend who then said he didn't want it after I spent so much time painting it. So that was disappointing. Like, I don't know what his problem is. He fell into meth, that's why. I mean, he lost his mind. He told me that he stabbed somebody in a parking lot for money. Yeah. He's crazy. He stole stuff from me to pay for drugs. And it was a real shame to see that happen to him. Because he was a really awesome guy. I don't know what it is about Nebraska. Why does everybody fall into meth? I have never touched that shit. All my friends fell into it. Pretty much. I don't know about too specifically. Like, they would always say marijuana is a gateway drug. But that's the only thing I ever smoked. I can't even stand tobacco. Marijuana just helped me with my migraines, and it made you laugh uncontrollably. It was like that laughing gas from the Joker. That shit it used to be so much fun. And alcohol, because that helps with my anxiety. And it gives me euphoria. I'm one of the lucky guys that gets to enjoy the euphoria of alcohol. Because otherwise, I'm just always mad. Mad at the world, mad at people, mad at just having to tolerate life. Mad at the universe that I have to be stuck on this rock. Like mad at never getting along with people because I'm awkward when I'm sober. I'm super fucking awkward. There's so many excuses, like, and anyway, so how do you paint a woman? I can think of one that might be worth painting, but I can't find photos of her anymore. She's not online. Her name was Megan, or is Megan. I don't know. She's not dead or anything. She's she is a little complex. Beautiful woman. Like, she's just gorgeous. But I grew up with her, and she, I don't know, she was a bit shallow. And that's not my style. Bellamine. But having a painting of her would just Every time I'd see it, I'd probably punch the wall. And it does evoke a lot of emotions. So maybe it's worth making. I'll consider that. When I painted him, I drew him for 3 months, and then you think about it. No, 3 weeks, not 3 months. So I drew him for 3 weeks by pencil, and then you think about it and how the paint is going to ruin your drawing. So I draw them, then I destroy my drawing and paint, and then I try to pursue how that person exists. So I try to exist as them while I'm crafting it. That's my method. Nobody taught me that. And maybe there are some other artists that do the same thing, but I don't study artists. I've only tried to pursue being myself with it. And it is painful. Like he turned me into an alcoholic. I drank whiskey, cheap whiskey too, for 15 hours straight till I could barely walk and barely hold a paintbrush to deconstruct my mind. And if that exists on somebody's wall after I'm dead, it was worth it. Because I ain't gonna last forever. That thing's gonna outlive me. That's permanent pigment. So that painting, unlike the other ones when I didn't know what permanent pigment was, will actually last. Compared to this one, which is not permanent pigment. But it ages so well. I love watching it decay. It's just beautiful how the shading is changing. Because you can see the shading here, right here, on this thing. It never used to look like that. And the bottle, the blue, has been changing too. So you can strategically do that with like cheap paint that will decay, so that it changes over time. It's really cool. Apparently, I didn't know that. Nobody taught me that. I just happened upon that, and so I've watched it change over the years. And some of them because I used a lot of those Reeves paints. I didn't know what permanent pigment was, and so I studied how light will decay the pigment. And some paintings, like my Rembrandt study, I keep that in the shade all the time. That one can't age. But like this one, how do I use my thumb on the camera? This one, I love how it ages. You can see like the shading, the shadows, like the speckles of white and stuff, and there, and it's hard to do this. And the lines in the drawing. This is fading though quicker than the rest, but it adds a lighting effect. So it's I don't want to say fleeting. It's decaying, and it just happens to do it in a really fun way. I never knew that it would do that. It's really great in person. I have original photos on my old phone, but the screen's broken. I think I have original photos on my old laptop, actually. But one of my other laptops, the screen's broken. Nonsense, right? It's just fucking nonsense. You know, it's kind of like a pencil. These are some of the coolest pencils. And there's a documentary about these, like, or there's some video of a guy expressing how it took to make this, right? How long it took to unify humanity, where the wood came from. This isn't lead, it's, what are you fucking, graphite, right? And, well, I burned my edge just because I wanted to. But because I think it looks cool, and I sharpen with my knife instead of the sharpener, which I have over there. But, you know, like the different things that it takes to, you know, make this thing. Technology, just an eraser, for instance, and the paint, and all the things that had to come together to make this. And then we destroy it as we create something. It's the same thing as me. Oh, where is my pencil? He's I forget what they're even called. It's a fancy mechanical pencil to draw out. I used to have a whole set of the different graphite and densities so that you can make lighter coloring and stuff. But then you got to balance that with the texture of your canvas, and sometimes having more canvas texture versus more it's not plaster, what the fuck is that shit that they cover it with, and you can alter all sorts of light effects. There's a shit ton of variables, and that's the fun of, you know, the joy of painting, for me at least. Thank you, Bob Ross, right? That this thing is super old. The eraser is practically solid now. It's decayed so much. There's a little cup of them over there. It's really cool. They're amazing pencils. And who decided on this color? It's just fantastic. And so, as you destroy the pencil, you destroy something that was so great, right? Just as this is something that slowly decays over time, this one will last. But then you draw and draw and get it just right. You make a perspective masterpiece. And then you destroy that to make that. And in my opinion, that's a masterpiece. But it's my only real true work of art, in my opinion. And how do you paint women? I gotta find one. That's the next painting I want to make. How do I find her? Where is she? flowers are easy to find. They're so odd. Like this can of water. And I have this here. So unique. It's always unique. The way they dry, it's always dynamic. And, but how do you find a woman to paint? I don't think they exist. Not in this day and age. I think Mona Lisa is the finest female, obviously, as everybody heralds it throughout history. Van Gogh made some really great paintings of women. We don't have that in common. Who is she? Where the fuck is she? Because I want to represent her as like a singularity, like I only want to make one. I only want one. And she has to be the right, you would say, thing, object, but perspective as well. And something to hold as an idea in your hand. It doesn't seem like they exist. There's a nice woman at the grocery store that changed her opinion about me. But we'll never be friends. There's another nice woman. I hadn't seen her in a long time. We never would have been friends either. Should a friend be a painting? I don't know. So how do you find the pencil? If a woman were to be considered a pencil because you're trying to craft her on something else, what makes you want to decay the pencil? Destroy it for her? Destroy your life, destroy yourself. I haven't really ever found that. I would have painted Christina, but she destroyed my heart, so I don't know how to repair it. And society has too.